Alright, what you see here is a Casablanca stealth ceiling fan. It is made on May 29th, 1991, and it is the 29th fan made that day. Because this fan is from 1991, this is the first year that these were made. So because of that, it comes with something that you don't see too often with these. Comfort Touch. Originally, these were sold with Comfort Touch, and then later, after like 1993, I think it was, they made them like IntelliTouch. But these are also the first fan from Casablanca that used the Comfort Touch control. It's also my first Comfort Touch fan in general. It's actually my preferred control system for any Casablanca fan, to be honest, or the Advan Touch. Basically, a remote that's not built into the wall. Now, this fan I got off of eBay for a pretty decent price. Paid a pretty good amount for it, but it's a fan I've been wanting to get for a very long time, and it's a fan that a lot of collectors don't like to part with. So, yeah, it's not from a collector, it's actually from a non-fan collector, though they packed this fan very well for people who aren't collectors. So, yeah, it came, I forget where it came from, but I know it got replaced by some Monte Carlo, Craftmade fan of some sort. I'll put the model name in the description below, as that's the box I use to ship it in. But, yeah. And I've always wanted to find one of these in this finish comp. I just love how these fans look in the gloss black finish. So I'm definitely going to show it with the gloss black plates as well, as I do like the all black look, but I definitely love it with the rosewood blades even more. It's a fan I can definitely see in a living room. Like, whenever I get my own place, this is definitely going to be my next living room fan. I like the Infiniti, but since I need more lighting in this living room that I'm in now, I have that there. If I was to put up like track lighting on in a different spot of the living room, I'd swap it out for this without a question. But also, I'd rather save this for my own place, so that way I can just keep it as pristine condition, because where I'm living now, is pretty somewhat close to the ocean, so the sea air kind of gets in here and it kind of makes the blades warp a bit more and such due to the humidity. So I don't want that happening with these blades, basically. But yeah, the fan's in very nice shape, considering how old it is. It's almost 30 years old, and you would not think this is a 30-year-old fan, honestly. But yeah, I've seen a lot of fans that copied these as a kid, so this design is very childhood for me. But now I have the fan that originated it, basically. As a lot of fan companies copied this look over the years. Such a beautiful fan. Still gotta test the other two, but since this is the one I've been wanting to find for the longest time, I figured I'd test this one first. I'm just trying to see where the tag is. I actually didn't even see where it was while I was installing it. Oh, here it is. Yeah, that's something with the older ones, is they had the Casablanca tag right there, and then later on they put them on the top after Hunter bought them out. This is the first version itself. The second version is the one that has IntelliTouch. Then they changed it up a little bit in the 2000s. Then they changed it up again in like the early 2010s, from what I know. Then they changed it to how they have it now with the DC motor. So there's 5 versions of these basically, and this is the original one. So let me go ahead and start off with the white. Let me go ahead and dip it down. On camera you can't see how it looks with it on a dimmer setting, but in person it is pretty nice looking. I'm going to show off these lights near me and see how well it lights up the space. And here it is on a dimmer setting, so you can barely see anything. but I do have that little light off on in the corner. So it's not the fairest test, but let me go ahead and put the lights back on in a brighter setting. Lights up the room pretty well. For my living room here, though, I would need something that would light up the room a bit more than this. Even though I really use the lighting, I'd use this. I like to have the spotlights to light up the paintings in the living room a bit more that I have hung up. So because of that, this would not work there. I'd have to put track lighting in the back area of it, but it's just we have no way to connect it. So that's not going to happen, sadly. Now I do notice I had to press the light button twice to shut it off completely. So let me do test. So let's go ahead and start it off on the lowest setting. Even if I turn it off and turn it on again, it would still like start off as if it's going fast and start off and then switch it to the lowest setting. Basically, it's literally a IntelliTouch system in a sense, but the remote's not like hardwired into like a wall and such. Nice thing about the controls, it does tell you how hot it is in the space that it's in right now. As I am filming, it says it is 76 degrees down here. So it's not hot, but it's not nice and cool. Which I figured was a good time to test it before, since we're heading into the fall now and such. And I definitely would not want to test this in the winter time. Yeah, it just has such a beautiful low speed to it. And here it is with the white. I'm gonna keep it like that. On video, it looks just a tiny bit brighter than normally, but it causes a lot less glare at least. So it's on a second setting with the light on video. Looks like it's lit up normally. Yeah, I'll keep it on a third setting. It's not bad there. As when I have it on high setting, it just makes it too glary looking on a video. So I'd rather, or on the camera. So I'd rather just avoid that. But yeah. So let me go ahead and move it up to speed 2. Let me go ahead and shut off the white. This low speed right here is more like an actual low speed. The first one was more like it's more of an aesthetic low on speed 1. Definitely a fan I've been wanting to test down here for the longest time. It's just since there was a recalled hang through on this one, I didn't want to test it and risk it falling through, so I figured I'd wait until I get a recall clip for this fan from Vintage Fans and More, better known as Casablanca, or other way around. The wire on this fan is in pretty good shape. It's not bent, thankfully. Not too much. Alright, let me go ahead and move it up to speed 3. More like a medium low speed right here, or medium speed. This is also my first 6-speed ceiling fan I'm testing down here too. There's some other ones I could have tested first, but since this is my favorite one I've probably found this year, I figured I'd test this one first. It's just a beautiful fan to see in action. I really do want to install this fan in my living room, in all honesty. It's just, I know the lighting wouldn't be what I'd want for it. Plus, I'd rather save this for when I get my own place and just keep using the Infiniti until then. But without a doubt, this is definitely going to be the next living room fan. Some people might say, oh, you're going to change your mind later, put something else, like it's some other Hunter or something else. The other thought is a Hermosa, but I already know this is what I want for the living room. Alright, just the way I moved up to speed 4. This is too cool of a fan to not put up in the living room. It says I'd rather save it for when I get my own place instead. My mom definitely likes this fan too. It's just I know the weight of this fan would definitely scare her. Plus, the boxes in that living room is definitely not rated to hold a fan this heavy. The box I'm using to test it is. Going forward, I am using this box to test heavier fan, all the fans, including heavier ones. And to change out the box there, it's more than I'd want to do, to be honest. And it's just an apartment I'm living in, so I'd rather just leave it alone. So whenever I get my own place, I can change it out for a box that actually can support a fan of this weight. It's like a good 40-pound fan without a question. This box is rated to hold up to 75 pounds, so don't have to worry about this fan falling at least. But I already know that the box in the living room would have to be changed out to put this one up. And I'm not trying to cut the ceiling and do more work. I already did it with one in the closet, the new tone. I also would have this installed without putting like on an LCA the way it is. It'd be fine as it is because the light kit wouldn't hang too low. And the other fans, they wouldn't hang too low. It's more so the light kits would hang too low. Blades would be a bit close, but it's just I wouldn't want the light kits to be hit, like the spotlights and such, or the glass, because they would hang more in the way, and then I could risk them getting broken. With this one, that wouldn't be the case. It's also just my mom lets the birds fly around a bit, and I definitely wouldn't want them sitting on the blades of this fan and pooping on it or such, or just messing up the flywheel by them sitting on it. That's the other reason. It's even a fan I install in my bedroom, to be honest, but I'd rather have a not. As much as I like black and rosewood, I'd rather have that for the living room instead of a bedroom. And I wouldn't mind it, honestly. And just with the color theme I have in my bedroom, like dark blue walls, I feel like a red and black fan like this would look better in the living room if I was to have like a red walls with it as well. Or just what I'd love to paint the living room in this apartment with like a dark red. Or even the gray walls, I feel like this will go good with as well. And that's ideally what I'd like to paint the living room as well, either a red or a gray. Probably gray. Doesn't have it somewhat of a modernish look in a sense, with like black couches. Has a little bit of a wobble on the 5th speed, but it is mostly due to the flywheel being a tiny bit bent, or the one of the blades being a bit warped, I guess. Now the hang through, you will notice it's kind of shaking. It is 100% secure. It's just the fact that the hang through is not 100% against like the beam, and with how these things mount. With every Casablanca fan I test down here, it's not like 100% against it because the hang through goes above the box a little bit with how they mount. So because of that, it kind of does let the fans wobble a bit more instead of keeping it from moving around. I have like 6 screws holding that box into place, so it's definitely not going anywhere. Definitely a fan I'd love to even put like in just a movie room too. Have it like the lowest setting on the light and have it running. Like, honestly, I don't think there's been a single Casablanca fan that I've tested down here, aside from the Lady Delta, that has not wobbled. And it's mostly because of the hang through. It's not like they go above the box a bit, so because they're not like flat against it, it kind of makes it wobble a bit more. If there's like a slightest, if you're like a little bit out of clock and such. Alright, now to move it up to the high speed, which is speed 6. This fan is moving a lot of air on the high speed. I mean, it is a Casablanca fan, so there's no surprise there. But yeah, they still sell the South to this day, just not in this finish, unfortunately. They still sell them in white and brushed nickel, which is the other two finishes these came in back then. But no, the brushed nickel came out later on. It came in polished brass and then like antique-ish brass or Satan brass, I think it was. Which is it's a really hard one to find. You know, the Satan brass one is a bit hard to find. Then polished brass is even harder to find. Well, yeah, it really doesn't wobble on high speed as much as it did on speed 5, which is a good thing. I already know for a fact that this fan would scare my mom with how fast it goes, since she doesn't like fans that go too fast. So she would constantly nag at me to turn it down. Which is kind of the other reason why I'd rather just leave a Hunter fan there. And not something like this, like a K55 motor. You know, it's definitely... The year hasn't ended yet, but this is still probably my favorite fan that I found this year. There's also the Victorian that I found as well, but this is definitely probably my big favorite find of the year. Cranks out a ton of air. That's definitely not a surprise there. I will say it definitely does move more than a regular K55 Casablanca fan, but it's not a surprise there with waist being larger. Not like a whole lot more. It's not like a 75% air difference, but like more than. It definitely does move a bit more than your typical like Delta or Panama and such. Another room that I thought this would look really cool in is like a music room. If I was just something I've been thinking about doing whenever I get my own place, is to have like a bedroom converted into like a studio or something, like a music studio and such. Now I do know that they did make Comfort Touch in black as well. A remote. I definitely would love to find a black one to go with this fan. I would still keep this one, since I feel like the black would match better with this fan than this one, especially since it's a bit yellowed. But yeah, this fan it was definitely a fan that was ahead of its time when it came out. And the fact that it's still being sold 30 years later, it definitely shows how it really changed the fan industry. It really stepped up the game for like making more contemporary models. Shut it off. And then I'll show it on reverse afterwards. And I already have a very good feeling this thing is going to have a pretty long spin down to it. Because I was testing it again one last time before hanging it up, just to be sure everything was running well and such. And after 10 minutes, I just had the motor spinning and I shut it off by the remote. Then after like 10 minutes, it was still spinning, like just a very little bit. But hopefully, it's not gonna be a 10-minute spin now, because I already would not look forward to testing doing the other videos of this. And I feel like it might be like the weight of the hub, like the things that hold the blades that make it spin down a bit longer, but who knows. And I do apologize for those who are not happy the video's gonna be longer, but with it being a 6-speed fan, I do try to show it as much detail on each speed as I can, both with and without with the light. So I already know that the no commentary in the iMovie videos will be somewhat long as well. Hopefully I can make them a lot shorter than this one. Definitely doesn't seem like it's going to be spinning down for that long, though. All right, now for speed 1 on reverse. And I am definitely not going to show it that long on each speed on reverse, so don't worry about that. Speed 2. Speed 3. Speed 4. Speed 5. Speed 6. Alright, and that'll be it for this video. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for more videos to come.